स्वास्थ्य राज्य मंत्री श्री अश्विनी कुमार चौबे जी, श्रीमती अनुप्रिया पटेल जी, राष्ट्रीय परीक्षा बोर्ड का अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर अभिजात सेठ जी, डॉक्टर रश्मिकांत दवे जी, डॉक्टर निखिल टंडन जी और आज इस दीक्षांतर समारोह में सम्मान देने वाले सभी मित्रों, अध्यापक बंधुओं और माता और पिताओं और भाई और बहनों, it really gives me great pleasure to be here with you and share my thoughts. But I'm sorry I have a problem because I have a weakness for time, and already my time that is given to me is over. And I have 3 more engagements further. I came only today morning from Europe, and it's pleasure for me to be present here and deliver the convocation address of this prestigious institution. It's truly a day of celebration as it marks the completion of a major chapter in the lives of these people who are getting graduated and commencing a new voyage. A new voyage is equipped with the credentials of a reputed organization. It will be a voyage that offers a reward of recognition, service, and personal fulfillment. You graduates who have taken this challenging voyage have done so because you have felt it answers an inner urge in you to improve the quality of human lives. This voyage is most demanding and calls for commitment and hard work, discipline and dedication. It is not easy, but when one chooses the path of the one he likes, the turbulent waters did not deter us. The journey becomes so much enjoyable, and the challenges are seen as opportunities. I congratulate each one of you on choosing this fascinating journey and wish you well as you embark on it after crossing a major academic milestone. Indeed, it's a day of great happiness, joy, and cheer for not only to you, but also to your parents and other family members. It is also an equally big day for the teachers who helped you acquire new knowledge and skills. Today is a day to celebrate your achievement and also the contribution made by the National Board of Examinations, which has been setting higher benchmarks of excellence with each passing year since 1982. It's an organization that has stood for exacting standards of professional competence. Thanks to the consistent efforts of the board, the graduates who acquire the DNB qualification are as good, if not better, than those who acquire MD, MS, DM, and MCH degrees. I am told that a candidate has to pass theory examination independently before qualifying for clinical exam, and clinical competence is evaluated by 4 external examiners. So there is objectivity, rigor, and credibility in the entire process. I compliment each one of the new graduates on your success in acquiring this badge of honor. God bless you all. It's a recognition that is well earned. I hope it will be only a good beginning of a long journey that will bring you many more laurels throughout your professional life. The knowledge, the skill, the competence that have acquired certainly a long way in easing and alleviating the pain and suffering of a vast number of people and bring them good health and joy. At the same time, it is also a day of introspection for all of you as you chalk out your future plans. Remember that education is a lifelong learning process. The quest for acquiring new knowledge and skills has no boundaries or limits. It's a lifelong exercise. Till you complete your life, one has to go on learning before earning. This applies not only to doctors, it applies to people in all walks of life, including in politics. One must learn. Remember that education is a lifelong learning process. The quest for acquiring new knowledge and skills has no boundaries or limits. This is particularly true of a medical education, where new breakthroughs and advancements make it incumbent upon all of you to constantly update your learning. We are also faced with a new challenge, new opportunities, new technology, new knowledge, new innovations. At the same time, new challenges are coming. New diseases are coming. New problems are coming. We are living in an era of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. The entire world has become a small village. What is happening here is known within minutes in New York. And what is happening there will be known here. So there is a great opportunity for us to learn from others' experience. And also, India being such a vast country, we also have an opportunity of coming across various people, various problems, various challenges. So this learning process should continue forever. As medical scientists, epidemiologists, and clinicians, you must continue your experiments with the truth and extend the frontiers of scientific and medical knowledge. Dear young friends, always be observant and curious. Build a scientific temper. Develop the intrinsic virtues of inquiry, exploration, analysis, discussion, patience, tolerance, humanism, and inclusive outlook. It is these qualities which shall make you for knowledge tempered with such values will always stand in you in good stead, sharpen your intellect, and above all, make you a good human being. It is this spirit of scientific thinking from times immemorial, from the days of Susruta and Charaka to the modern day luminaries in medicine has brought us where we are today. You must continue and enrich the grand tradition for this. It is crucial for you to develop critical thinking and expand your horizons of knowledge. Never be content or complacent with status quo. Yearn to learn and learn to innovate. As voyagers, be conscious of the moral compass that will guide you to your cherished goals. Medical profession is a mission. It should be accomplished as a mission, not for commission. There should not be any omission and should not give any remission also. We should remember this, that we are a mission and we are all missionaries to take care of the people. I am not using the word missionaries in the other sense. Be knowledgeable, be skillful, but be generous and be caring, making empathy and service your basic approach. As the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, has said, a quote, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Lose in the service of others. That is the real happiness. My dear young friends, I come across a lot of doctors in my last 40 years of public life. And I have seen some of the doctors totally are committed to their profession. Morning to evening, any time. Smiling, caring, obliging, with all patience, dealing with the patients, and giving proper care and advice, and they enjoy working. If you enjoy what you are doing, then you will be able to take extra work also. Otherwise, you feel tired, and government office, 5 o'clock, over. What is this? Head of the department or minister has not yet gone. And pray God to take him away, not from the world, but The medical profession is a 24/7. I wish you the very best in your journey ahead. The 18th century French philosopher Voltaire had said this about physicians, and I quote, "Men who are occupied in the restoration of health to other men by the joint exertion of skill and humanity are above all the great of the earth." Above all the great of the earth. See, such a powerful statement he made. They even partake of divinity, since to preserve and renew is almost as noble as to create. This is the same perspective as Indian from time immemorial has held. We have said, Vaidyo Narayana Hari, Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. Serving the people is serving the God. That is the Indian philosophy. Patients always treat doctors next to God. May each one of you excel in your life's mission and preserve and renew human lives you touch. However, before I close, let me briefly share with you my concerns on the three key themes, each of which is related to the other. A large part of Indian population lives in rural India. Mahatma Gandhi, after independence, he gave two advices to public leaders. One is political. I don't dwell on that. He said disband Congress. That's a political issue. I am not talking about that. Because it was a platform for independence. Independence is achieved, so that was the advice. That was the background. Second, he said, back to villages. But we have shown our back and moved towards towns. The result is there is an urban-rural divide. And the people are leaving rural areas. Massive urbanization is going on, migration is going on for education, for employment, for health, for entertainment, for economic upliftment, for enhanced medical facilities, because most of them are concentrated here. So the government of India, the state governments, and all of us who are there in this service, we must have a change of mindset and then fix up our priorities. I was suggesting to the government also, saying that whoever want to have first promotion, they should serve in rural area minimum 3 years in the first instance. I know not many of you will clap because it's related to this thing. But this will be a great service if you make it as a mission in your life, serving the rural people. Despite several government initiatives, we have been unable to provide adequate healthcare facilities to our rural people. The farmers, their families who feed us. At present, most part of the rural India has limited access to specialist health care. And this crisis partly stems from reluctance of our doctors to go and work in rural centers. The time has come for you to change this situation and consider serving this unserved population. I'm happy that the Prime Minister is giving priority, serving the unserved, caring the uncared, banking the unbanked, recognizing the unrecognized, reaching the unreached. This is the priority of this Prime Minister. That's why you have seen in the recent days, even the Padma Awards also are given to such people who are not hitherto that much known, are not living in routines Delhi. Reaching the unreached, recognizing the unrecognized. So we must also make it a mission in our life. It should be noted that despite the progress on economic front, public and private financial resources continue to be scarce, and we must look at delivering health care at an affordable cost. We must find ways and means to ensure that every citizen benefits from the advancements in the medicine. There have been many instances in which families have been driven to penury and debt traps due to huge medical costs and incurred on the treatment of their dear ones. Recently, I had an occasion to study the cause for farmer suicides. Two important reasons has come out by the study conducted by Manage, an institute in Hyderabad, 3,500 cases they have studied, and they said two main reasons is one, medical expenditure, second is educational expenditure. Both of us has become very costly. They are very dear to people. Education is required. Health also is required. Because if you have health, you can acquire wealth. But there is no guarantee if you have wealth, you will be able to have proper health. Even if you have so many bungalows, so much money, so many cars and all, still you can't eat what you want to eat. if you have problems of health. So the Union government, I'm happy, has conceived a Ayushman Bharat, aiming to provide financial protection to 10.74 crore deprived rural families by offering a benefit cover of rupees 5 lakh per family. It covers almost all secondary and most of the tertiary care expenses. Thus, it is expected to provide a fillip to India's goal of achieving universal health coverage. I compliment the government for the same. But complimenting will be much more important and relevant. Complimenting is followed by proper implementing. If there is no implementation of mere announcement of a scheme, that depends on you people. As doctors, you have an unprecedented opportunity to serve and be part of this inclusive growth, and India is aiming for sharp focus on cleanliness and affordable health care. We are now focusing on cleanliness. That's one of the basic requirements. We have not given proper importance to that. Mahatma Gandhi said cleanliness is next to godliness. That was a powerful statement made by Gandhiji 116 years back while addressing Banaras in the university. Cleanliness is godliness. But we have not given enough care to that. Now time has come again that we must all join the campaign of the program given by the government, Swachh Bharat, Clean India. Clean, not only body, tan se, man se, dhan se. Tan means body, man means mind, dhana means paisa. If all the three are clean, then you will have good sleep, good health, no tension, only attention towards your duty, and you feel happy. That's why this program is very important. All people in the medical profession, they should educate the people, counsel the people about the cleanliness. I would also like to advise you to think, innovate, create new paradigms, new ideas and new technologies in healthcare and turn India into a trailblazer in this field. The world must look up to us. As I was telling you, I just returned from Romania today morning. Romania, I was in Malta, then I was in Serbia, before that I was in Guatemala, I was in Panama, I was in Peru. Everywhere, world is looking to India. Not only because economically we are coming up, because of the knowledge we have. India was once upon a time was known as Viswaguru. Students from across the world, they used to come and read here, Takshasila, Nalanda, other universities and all. Time has come again, now opportunities are there now, available to us. We must excel in our professions. And there is a lot of interest across the globe about what is happening in India, its progress. It's a big news for them, India is growing at 8%. And then Ayurveda, the alternative medicine, yoga. I was so surprised when I found in Peru a number of centers, 5, 6 centers in the road I was traveling, yoga clinic. I was immensely happy day for yesterday, and I went to Parliament of Romania, where the Speaker of Parliament and President of the Senate told me that they have conducted last year yoga celebrations in the Parliament itself. That is the importance. Because yoga is not religious. Many people have got a misconception, unfortunately. Yoga is not a religious practice. It has no religious overtones at all. It's a science. It's an exercise of mind and body, unity. So nobody should have any inhibition about that. Some people say, sir, I have some problem with Surya Namaskara. I advise them, if you have problem with Surya Namaskara, do Chandra Namaskara. No problem. In this country, there is no dearth of cynical people. For each and everything, they try to find out something. We have to remember the roots. The world is looking to us once upon a time for kidney transplantation, for liver transplantation, for art. People used to go to abroad. I remember many people who went to London, and then we used to mobilize money for those people because huge expenditure. I'm very happy that the patients from around the globe, particularly from the African countries, from Bangladesh, from Arab countries. They are coming to India, they are coming to Chennai, Bangalore, Coimbatore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai. We are now becoming health tourism hubs. This should be further strengthened. That's possible by you people. If you apply your mind and then focus your attention on further innovation, on new ideas, on new care. As I told you thousands of years ago, in the times of Sushruta, Jivak and Charaka, Dhanvantari, medical tourism used to be there, and now medical tourism is becoming a reality, and many people from different corners of the world are coming to India for treatment. In addition, there is a number of people who are looking towards India for holistic health practices, including yoga and Ayurveda, that can complement allopathic medicine. You have therefore an exciting journey ahead. Set sail with confidence, with competence, with courage, with commitment. Confidence, competence, courage, and commitment. You must set your sights high and aim for building a satisfying career for yourself and a brighter, healthier future for our country and the world. Make India a trusted healthcare destination and lend a healing touch to the suffering humanity. A touch that only you can give with your knowledge, skills and attitude. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Vasudhaika kutumbam. Entire universe is one family. That is the philosophy of India. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. Share and care is the core of Indian philosophy. That is the Bharatiya Samskruti or Hindu Samskruti or Indian culture, whatever you may call. So keep that in mind and take care of the sufferings of the people. As the Vedic sages have said, let me wish you all the very best and say, let there be freedom from disease. Let there be all-round well-being. Let your path be full of goodness. Swachha Bharat, Swastha Bharat, Samruddha Bharat, Sasakta Bharat. These should be our goals. That is possible by collective determination, commitment and hard work of all of us together. This, as I told you, health is wealth. We must focus on, first I want to touch upon one point before I conclude. Along with Medicare, you have to take care of the mental care of the people. We have to change the mindset. Mental care means I am not talking the other mental this thing. We have to go back to our roots. Remember our culture, remember our heritage, remember our lifestyle. The lifestyle changes are resulting in many of the new diseases and new problems. So we must educate the people, counsel the people, advise the people through media, through radio, through TV, through newspapers, through consultations and also to meetings, to educate the people to go back to lifestyle, the one which we had earlier. Otherwise, it's becoming mechanical, no physical activity at all. Getting up from the bed, getting down, and then getting up onto the dining table, then getting down, then getting up onto motorcycle, and then getting down, getting up onto the car, and getting down, going to the office, getting up to the chair, and then getting down, coming home and getting up to the dining table, getting down, and then again getting into the vehicle, going up, and then coming, and then getting up onto the dining table, then getting up onto the bed. Then you are half dead without physical activity. Physical activity is required because lot of mechanization is good, but at the same time, the things which we can do ourselves. We used to earlier go to toilet, it is distance. Now toilet, thanks to Modi ji, it is there in every house now. I am not against it. I am in favor of it. Second, you want to take a bath, you have to go out and then pour water, bend and pour water on your head. Now there is a shower, no bending. Then earlier, to wash your hand also used to go out. Now you have a finger bowl. Earlier, even to sit also you have to bend and sit at the ground floor. But now you have a dining table. Earlier you want to make a call, you have to go to telegraph office. Now phone has come to your house. Earlier you have to go to a corner to pick up the phone. Now the phone has come to your ear and mouth. Earlier to open the door, you have to go and open the door. Now the door is getting opened by remote. Car is getting started by remote. Everything is remote. Literally, there is no physical activity. Some amount of physical activity is very much required. Doctors must advise the people because doctors will be believed more than others by the people. That's one advice I have to the people. Second, as I told you, the profession is very noble, and we must remember we are entering into a noble profession, and we shall maintain the noble standards, and then also set up the global standards. As I told you, because the globe is looking towards India. India is economically becoming strong. The World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the Moody ratings, not Modi, Moody ratings, International Monetary Fund, ADB, all are talking about India moving up. And then that being the case, we must also take care of the health of the people, because 65% of the Indian population, 65% of the Indian population is below 40 years. That's a demographic dividend to us. So we must guide our younger generation on preventive measures for better health, so that they can take care of the health and also create the wealth of the country. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.